Friday drive home.
65 northbound at Gross Road, Nashville.
Very serious.
Told that left arm tan is in the house.
The smell of oleander is sweet before the rain, like the past that lies behind you, but it's coming round again. And what is time but a thread to stitch the pain?
We love Americana!
So I'm coming back to Houston, but not to settle down, to heal the scars I left behind, pick the pieces off the ground. The highway bends as I'm soaking in the darkness between towns, like a fighter going in for a final round.
We love left arm tan!
So I'm driving through the night, like I'm flying through the cosmos, just to see the morning in your eyes.
We love left arm tan!
And if the stars and city lights sing the lonely hearts, I know I would hear them tonight.
We love left arm tan!
There's a serenading memory calling me back home. A serenading memory calling me back home.
After the Austin sessions, the band returns home to Fort Worth to finish the album. 2019 has challenged Left Arm Tan. Daniel has a serious injury that requires major surgery following the Austin sessions. But as usual, they handle adversity with humor, and he makes sure to update the band on his status. A week later, he and the band are back in the studio working on overdubs.
The car is packed with your favorite Christmas lights. The tank is full, you can drive.
Where am I supposed to be looking on this?
So the album was birthed, if you will, in the midst of lots of turmoil.
I've got a really bad memory, but I know that there were a bunch of changes that happened in the band.
One of the founding guys left the band, and the bass player left the band. Just got tired. We've been doing it a long time.
We kind of, I think, worried that we were going to be aimless for a while, and we really weren't.
And then Sean and Joe came in, and something just started to happen with the lineup. Everyone was sort of pointed in the same direction. The creativity kind of took off. So it was good, but it was also a struggle because at the same time, all of us were going through a lot of personal stuff. I had a really bad injury that ended up, me having pretty serious hip surgery, and it freaking sucked. It was pretty rough. So we got through it. All these songs started to appear. Everyone's loving what they're doing. We're playing shows and we're feeling like, man, this is special. And then we go to Austin and we start on the album, and even that was kind of a hard process. Brian had a slip disc in his back. I can barely walk because my hip hurts so bad. And so we recorded those sessions, and then we came back to Fort Worth. I had surgery, and 4 days later I was back in the studio, and we just kept after it. And it was like somehow or another, and I have no explanation why or how, but the songs appeared.
You know, there's happy songs, there's sad songs, there's cheating songs, but all of it was basically created out of a time of turmoil. So from the beginning to the end was an arduous journey, but I think what we ended up with was something pretty amazing.
Next question.
As the album nears completion, the band schedules a low-key show at their home venue, Magnolia Motor Lounge. It's time to play some new songs and see old friends. They've spent months away, and the band realizes they've been missed.
Thanks, y'all, for coming out. We've been off for a while recording an album, and had some surgeries and all kinds of stuff. Anyway,
Yeah, those implants are looking good, man.
I know, man.
Looking great.
And,
I can hardly even tell. So lifelike.
I had to take these things from teats to tots.
We used to dance all night in the headlights of cars. I dug a well in the pit of my heart. That name.
The moment that I remember the most was when we were in Austin and we started recording, like the process of recording the sessions for the record. It was probably second day, halfway through the second day. And like I said, I'm trying to figure out how I fit into the process with everyone. And I just had like a light bulb moment, and it was just say what you think, make the suggestions. That's why you're here, right? So do my thing, do it. I remember I was on the couch in the control room, and I was laying there with my eyes closed, listening, and I'm like, okay, here's the moment. And I was just like, you can do better than that. That's what I remember. That's the most memorable moment in the process.
To me, what stands out is that I look back at how hard this was and how the songs just seemed to appear out of nowhere, and everyone like jumped in and had great ideas, and it's kind of like a mirage that kind of appears out of the distance, and you're like, all of a sudden you've arrived at the mirage, and here's the album, and it you don't know how it got here, but something special happened during the writing and going to Austin, and once everyone kind of realized that, they just latched onto it and worked harder, and that was just amazing to see.
Being in Oklahoma and getting sick there, eating pizza or something, and having to play, and that was interesting.
I wasn't really confident that we were going to get much out of the studio, that we might be spending a lot of time writing and arranging and not actually getting stuff on tape. And I remember the second or third day, after we'd recorded some things and we were listening back, just that feeling of, this sounds great. All these songs are coming together, and we've broken a log jam, and it's just gonna really come together.
No, I would say probably when we were down in Austin at Tree Fort Studios, there was a point where we were all playing a song that we had all sort of listened to in just little bits and pieces. Daniel and I had sent out a recording, everybody listened to it, and then we all got in the studio at one time and started playing. And that, at least the rhythm tracks, became the final rhythm tracks for the album. So it was really cool because there was something really organic and genuine about that experience. So that was probably the best moment, is all coming together, playing a song none of us had played together before, and birthing something really genuine and authentic that now is going to be on the final album.
The band has a new perspective after the last year. They take the music seriously, but not themselves.
Yeah, so we're missing our steel guitar player slash Dobo player slash trumpet player slash token millennial. So
Wang.
Every band should have one, and he's ours, and he gets all of the hazing. So when he's not here, we just redirect it to Joe. So Joe's always real happy when Mark's not here.
Leave it to Wang to miss this show. We renamed him Wang. That is, I think, the most appropriate nickname that I could come up with.
I'm not sure if he just didn't have permission to be here, or she said he had to cook dinner or clean or something. Like, I don't really know. Like, I'm not sure if anybody really knows for sure.
Well, he's at a gay retreat, and we try not to go there. We don't pry into his private life, and hopefully his wife doesn't see this.
Everybody knows Alana really is in control of everything. So I suspect it's something like he just doesn't have permission to come out on a weeknight, you know, and play.
What are you gonna do? He's got other priorities. Like, apparently being a newlywed is important. Apparently having a real job in a school district is important. You know, we all have important things to do too, but I guess he couldn't make it. I feel great. Ready to get on playing and promoting and kind of making the most of whatever we can with this record. We've been through it several times, and having the record finished and being able to then go around and promote it and play these new songs.
Good. It's my first album from start to finish. I've sat in on a few songs, recording, but from start to finish and being part of the writing and doing the full in studio, it was pretty good. It felt pretty good to be a part of something like this.
We're better friends now. We started out great friends, but I think that helped, the whole album helped bond us. And, we had new members coming into the band, and they're not new members anymore. Now it's Left Arm Tan the way it was meant to be.
I'm just ready to show people. This is the most unique album I've ever played on. I mean, I'm proud of how far it came to, how far something, just a little idea that didn't always, I don't know, it's like pieces coming together, and it finally just, every time we got another mix or every time we had another idea, every time we'd get in there and add something, it just grew. It's pretty cool to be a part of. So yeah.
So I'm excited for people to hear it. I'm excited to hear what they think about it, and just to see how it hits people and what they latch onto. Will always be interesting.
Feeling like a merry-go round and round and round and round and round.
Rock and roll is a tangible dream, but it floats between two worlds. Some nights end in boozy jams, other nights are reserved for family.
Hi, Daddy.
If they are lucky, both family and music come together.
1, 2.
2 days ago, when we had all the final mixes in and we had listened through every song, and it was good, and it was done, it was finished, it was like this is the best we've got. and it was a proud moment. It was amazing.
Thanks to technology, people all over the world listen to Left Arm Tan, usually while the guys are driving carpool or watching their kid pitch a winning game. At 20, commitment was a word. At 40, it has substance. And that substance has worked its way into the new songs. There's no stopping now. The phoenix has risen, and the next 10 years are waiting.
They don't write them like they used to, the songs that make you move. They write them like they've got something to lose. But somewhere in outer space, there's some old radio waves, and aliens are starting to sway to songs from the good old days. He's drinking down at the old worn-out dive, and the jukebox glows like it just came alive, dropping dimes in the slot like he's got a lot. Sometimes the oldest heart still burns hot. They don't write them like they used to, the songs that make you move. They write them like they got something to lose. But somewhere in outer space, there's...
Left Arm Tan plays both kinds of music, shitty and shittier. The band's lead guitarist, Daniel Hines, is known to play an entire set almost in tune. The rest of the band can't remember the drummer's name, so they just call him Bippity Boo.
The writing process, and we knew we were going to... No.
It is grueling work, but also strangely calming and rewarding, because once they're in the studio, the band spoons. It will be the band's 10-year anniversary in 2020. Imagine that, sucking for an entire decade. How do they do it?
Jacob, what questions would you have for this vibrant group?
This vibrant group was not in my things to ask, so I'm not entirely sure. How hammered are y'all?
Ooh!
Oh,
Somebody can answer that.
Are you gonna have us take a breathalyzer? Because
I am not.
Okay, we need to have this interview. What's happening? Super.
That's making the interview right here.
No, come on,
All right,
guys.
let's go. We have to go. We have to go. I thought it was a picture. You know what? You ruined it, Brian.
And that's a wrap.
The whiskey seems to help, and so do the condoms. To set the mood in the studio, the band lights some candles, some incense, and sings along quietly to Sarah McLachlan. Thanks to technology, people all over the world listen to Left Arm Tan. But get this, Left Arm Tan listens to Left Arm Tan on cassette tape decks, because they are f***ing old. There's no stopping now. The phoenix has risen until someone shoots it. It's not a normal band per se. The guys are best friends and lovers. And everyone has veto power. I can't do it.